Drop it, drop it. What it do, yo? This is the Peace Dealer. I'm gonna be in and out real quick, but I gotta drop an important announcement. If you saw me live earlier, I mentioned that I did have some goodies in store that I'd like you to support. And this has to do with my new webinar series. I'm going to be, how do I say this? I'm going to be doing a webinar every 2 weeks. I'm a little bit iffy if I'm gonna do it every month or 2 weeks. Once we do this first one, you guys can let me know how frequent you want it. But yeah, this is a full moon in Scorpio webinar that I'll be doing. For those of you who have been enjoying the ceremonies that I'm doing, every full moon and every new moon, I'm gonna be conducting a webinar. And in these webinars, for example, this full moon in Scorpio, I'm going to talk about the full moon in Scorpio, but it's not really so much the full moon I'll talk about as far as what you're going to be releasing, what's the 2 week span going to look like. Because when you look at certain horoscopes that tell you, oh, the full moon is going to be in this sign. So, hey, what's up, Emily? How you doing? Thank you for showing love. When you look at horoscopes that are like, oh, the full moon's going to be in this sign, so if you're a Taurus, you're releasing relationship issues. It's good to know that, but what you have to know is, what are you manifesting? Every time there's a full moon or a new moon, you're manifesting a first initial half of the lesson that has happened since the new or full moon. For example, this new moon or full moon in Scorpio. What's up, Isabel? How you doing? This full moon in Scorpio that we're gonna have, all right, we're coming into that 2 weeks in to the new moon in Taurus. So this full moon in Scorpio, we're gonna manifest an initial value in ourselves that we're gonna complete after this full moon. So getting the webinar with me is going to allow you to know, especially depending on your sign, what is it that you're releasing, right? But what is the cycle? What is the lunar cycle? So for those of you who want to follow the lunation cycle with me, I strongly advise you get this webinar. Webinar seats are $11.99, super affordable. What's really cool about this, for those of you who join me on the webinar, what's up, Rosa, and what's up, love? Those of you who join me on the webinar, you're going to have Q&A. So this is your time to sit, bring up your chart, and ask me, hey, how's this full moon going to affect my chart? All right. In the webinar, we're going to talk about what the full moon, we're going to talk about the lunar cycle, really. This is why I'm not sure whether I should do this once a month. Maybe if I do the new moon in Gemini, we can do the full moon in it, or if I should just do it twice. I think it'd be better to do it twice a month so that we can get more in depth. So this Scorpio full moon is going to cover the lunation cycle from that all the way to the balsamic phase before we start the new moon in Gemini. So keep that in mind. We're going to break down what it means for your sign and rising sign. We're going to talk about when it hits the quarter phase before it goes new, so you'll actually have a good understanding of what you're really, because this Scorpio full moon is it. Like, this is going to be one of the most potent Scorpio full moons ever. So even if you don't, what's up, Mystic Love? So even if you don't, like, go to another webinar, you want to go to this one. When the moon is full in Scorpio, the North Node is going to be in Leo. And we're going to have a fierce square and other aspects around those degrees. If you have anything in your chart, 29, 28, 27 degrees, is getting triggered. Whether it's getting squared, whether it's getting conjuncted. So, yeah, this is not a webinar you want to miss. We're not only going to go in depth, really, for the signs. You're going to be able to watch all the signs because you have Aries, per se, in your chart. So if you have Aries in your 6th house, we're going to talk about how, okay, for a Scorpio rising, when we do the Aries horoscope and how the full moon in Scorpio is going to affect them, you still want to watch because we're going to talk about how it's going to affect your 6th house. So it's really, really comprehensive. We're going to do Q&As, and we're also going to do special rituals. When we start the full moon, when we start any of these full moon or new moon webinars, it's with a 10-15 minute healing session so that we could chill and attune our energies. So yeah, show me some support. Make sure you hit the link up. It should be in the description. And as soon as you order, you're going to get a link to the actual webinar. I do have a digital downloader, so it should send automatically, but yeah. Here you go, Emily. You definitely could get another kiss. That's totally for sure. So yeah, I really do want to harp in on the ceremonies as well, because whereas when I go live on the channel, we'll do like a basic ceremony and call in all the elements. We're gonna do more of that, but we're also gonna cosmic command. That's what kind of makes this a little different from just like the regular live videos. For those of you who are hip to the 33 rituals, depending on your sign, if I know you're in the chat room and you're a Gemini, I'm going to tell you to invoke Mercury. And then I'm going to say, tell Mercury to do this energy on your 4th house. Let's say it's a 4th house transit. So we're going to go in. And this is something that I hope to do every 2 weeks or a month. And so we can make this a habit. And, you know, we could, you know, the reason why this is important is because if you know, thank you, love. How you doing, Agrian? I hope I said that, Agnirin. How you doing? How you doing, Nicola? I'm loving the love. You always know I'm loving the love. We have Rosa Capricorn in the building. But yeah, this is important. You always have to follow the lunation cycle. If you don't follow anything else, one thing that trips people off is they don't know what the progress of the moon is making them feel. For example, right now, the moon's in Libra. We're about to step into this full moon. So right now, what you have manifested in the new moon in Taurus is now about to manifest initially. It's going to fully manifest 6 months from now. But this first 2 weeks is the initial sneak peek to let you know what is manifesting, so you know what you release. And what we're releasing this full moon in Scorpio is anything in our lives that does not make us feel desired. All right? Because you are a person of value. So any habits that take away from how desirable you are, or anyone who does not make you feel desired, they don't have to be like obsessed with you, but anyone who doesn't acknowledge your value, and what's opposite value, Scorpio, desire, snip, snip. That being said, yep, I hope to see you at the webinar. Don't worry, we still will be going live on Wednesday. The webinar is tomorrow, and I apologize for the short notice. We're gonna definitely have at least a week or 2 weeks notice in future. But yeah, if you don't make it to the webinar Tuesday, don't worry, join us Wednesday. We're still gonna go live and we're still gonna get lit, so it's all good. But for those of you who are serious and you want that in-depth knowledge, holler at your boy. We're gonna go in. And yeah, my friends, stay blessed and peace.